So we are going to now dive into the presentation. If you could go to you can skip 2 slides through. So as I said, we'll do a brief overview and then we'll get into the demo portion. So who we are Open Assessment Technologies, the providers of the TAO assessment platform. So you may know us as TAO. That is how we usually show up to events. OAT is the home and where we have taken over the TAO product, where it actually started out as a research project with the University of Luxembourg to create an open source assessment platform. Wow, probably almost 20 years ago now. This was created for the demand of the industry to be able to innovate, but with so many people not having equal access, the opportunity for open source was a really great approach that we took there. So we've had a number of partners invest in us since. So we've been working with Uchida, who is our parent company, and we work with another one of their companies, InfoSign, to disseminate assessment software across Japan. Next slide. And so TAO is our open source assessment solution. So it's based on open standards. We have an end-to-end solution for any use case, for any type of assessment, ranging from diagnostic, summative, formative, no matter the stakes, low, mid, or high. We have protocols in place to support you. So we have everything from authoring to reporting in-depth results. You can roster your students, create and manage groups, create innovative exams. We actually have 17 different built-in question types that you can then deliver to students and have them taking their exams. These also include the ability to use portable custom interactions to, get more problem-solving type of activities captured within a student's approach when they are solving a problem. And then, we'll dive into the AI component. So we've had the opportunity, as I mentioned, to participate in a lot of the events happening over the last month and even over the last year. So it's been really interesting to see how fast the AI market has grown in education. Even a year ago, we were talking about, things that in the future, we think AI will be a part of, certain things for security protocols that are now completely baked in. So it's moves fast and it's very something to be aware of. That's very exciting, but also, of course, it comes with new challenges. As any innovation does, especially any rapidly moving innovation. So some of the common sentiments: how are educators feeling about AI taking hold in the industry? And are they open to it? Are they planning on using the tools themselves? So some of the data that we've found, we've seen that educators are generally cautiously optimistic about AI. So one study found that about 60% felt this way, especially to improve teaching and learning, personalized learning experience, content development, relieve administrative work so that educators can focus on teaching their students. So just to dive into some of these challenges that they're navigating now at this time. So of course, one of the major ones that educators have brought up and consistently will bring up is cheating attempts. Is AI going to create an increased ground for cheating attempts? And I mean, it certainly in some situations could, if there are not the correct safeguards in place. So for example, especially as we're evolving, things like voice imitation. There's a company called 11 Labs that uses an AI voice generator simulator to make it sound like it could be anyone. There's a company, it's escaping me off the top of the head right now, but that they can control your computer, for you. So someone else could be taking the test. So these are things, of course, Chat GPT, if someone's copying, pasting into a short answer response form. Of course, we have things in place to help safeguard these things, as I had mentioned. So different security plugins that prevent a test taker from exiting the full screen or using copy and paste. We can randomize questions as well so that different students are not necessarily getting the same questions to reduce that as well. So it's all, again, an approach that needs to be thought of holistically and also carefully. Again, that goes into cybersecurity risks, infrastructure threats. There has been a huge rise in DDoS attacks and other data breaches. We've seen this, with even just huge shipping companies in the last 5 years. There's been a lot of vulnerability in infrastructure when it comes to online systems. So AI can kind of play a role here where it can actually address some of these vulnerabilities and help with resource allocation. So, but it can also, there's again the threat of, the infrastructure being less regulated, more open. Ethical and legal issues play in the same. And one survey from UNESCO, we actually saw that 10% of schools and universities actually don't have, less than 10% have a formal guidance on AI. So that means most educators are not given a kind of guide or a rule book to follow when it comes to implementing these and how it matches up with policy and how it should be regulated. So as we continue to advance, that's also something that I'm sure we'll see continuing to evolve and seeing a lot more regulations around the use of AI for different applications and how it's relating to education standards as well. And then,
and as Sam's saying too, oh, sorry, Sam. But as Sam's saying too, with this formal guidance and having an actual policy within the institutions, whether it's in your K-12 schools or even higher ed, it's not just hearing from the point of view of the company, of the institution, of the university, but also the students and the parents. And that's something that, as we've done a lot of research on this, looking at our tool, hearing from those risks, those threats, also from not just the cyber attack side and not just from obviously legal issues, but also what Sam is saying too is the ethical side. We want to make sure we still have a human approach and we hear the voice of the student and the parent as well with the educator. And that has been a huge part of our surveys and our research as well. And Sam, you'll get into that, I'm sure, as you kind of show the tool and how we can see even going further into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and educators largely agree that there's still going to be a need for teachers. AI will not replace teachers. What it can do is help lighten some of that administrative burden by, relieving administrative tasks, assisting in grading with automatic scoring or grading recommendations for open answer questions. With the content generation, it's important that there's no guarantee that things will be accurately generated by AI. So there's always going to be a set of human eyes, especially with the field of psychometrics. There's the need to make sure that these questions are, performing as they're expected and measuring what they're intending to measure. So again, it's all back to that responsible approach, a plan, and also just kind of figuring out, I guess, where these new regulations will impact. Go to the next slide. Oh, okay. And I just wanted to let everyone know that the meeting is being recorded. And so we can share that after the session wraps up. We will make that available. to you in a follow-up email. But diving back into generative AI, so that's been a huge topic, especially as we're getting into really AI finding its place in assessment in ed tech technology. So some of the expectations when it comes to these tools, of course, to generate test content and items that can be used as either inspiration, reusable content, or to help, like I said, get ideas for building new content. And it kind of takes out that section of really needing to focus time where you could be teaching. Okay, and then
Yeah, I think to Sam's point too, that's a huge part, right? Because AI, we don't want it to be an intimidating tool in the classroom, but more of how do we save the teachers time to spend more time developing the students and less time on kind of the busy work and your day-to-day where you're not just putting together your curriculum, but then obviously building the tests. So how do we save that time and how do we save time, but also make it an easy to use tool in the most unintimidating, threatening way to really buy back that educator to spend more time with the students and more of a quality curriculum to help improve student outcomes. So that I think is also one of like the most important features that we see here too, is we're looking at it again from a human approach where it's not supposed to be intimidating as we bring it into the classroom.
mm-hmm. And what teachers have largely said too that we've heard is that they are relatively open to this. So we want to be able to provide these solutions and make sure that they are, like Ashley said, accessible and also usable for our audiences, teachers, educators, administrators, everyone who's using the platform. Going back to their expectations for tools, building off what Ashley had said about saving time, extended AI assisted features like grading, that's something that we've heard administrators and educators would really like to kind of offload a lot of that work to then focus back their time. So automated grading is something for, simple multiple choice questions. That's something that can be really beneficial. Different innovative assessment types. So beyond multiple choice, including some open response assessments, being able to generate questions from authentic texts or source files. So whether you want to, generate something from the public domain, or if it's a PDF file, Word document, very specific that you want to turn into or use as a reference for a test, then you can upload that or use that data. We'll show you exactly how you walk through that. But that's another key component, the ability to have prompts or reusable templates, and then adaptive assessments for a personalized learning approach. But we really want to emphasize that generative AI requires context. So the more context we provide, the better the results. And we'll show you a few different ways how we're using this tool and these algorithms to build exams. So we can go to the next tab. And then we also, so as part of our early adopters program, we had introduced our AI tool to a select group of users when we first launched this, I want to say a few months back. And we did a survey to just see where they're planning to use this. And the number one response was to generate inspiration for exam content and to generate reusable content closely following behind. So that just reaffirms that, the educators are looking for, something that allows them to save time, reusable content, and just to make the process more streamlined and seamless. So coming up with exam content inspiration can be quite time consuming. So to have something, that you can build on is really key with what we're hearing. And with that, we can go and dive into our demo. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can share my screen now again, because
Would you like
I
me to
know.
start sharing?
Yep, in just one second. Or no, you can go to the next slide, sorry.
Okay.
I just need to pull up one thing.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool to see kind of how just with the idea creation, and sometimes we all get a little bit of writer's block, and I think just even playing with the tool over the past couple of weeks, we've been able to see how it can be like kind of your personal assistant when creating your new content for test items. So definitely interesting. And I want to make sure too that, like I said, at the end of this demo, there'll be a QR code because we want to get all of everyone from our audience to have access to start playing with this tool as well. And it's something that the more feedback we get, the better we can develop it. But as of right now, especially with the early adopters, your feedback is so crucial to us to make sure that we can make it better and the most user-friendly to have the highest adoption rates in your organizations. So I think once you kind of get your hands on it, we want to hear all the good, the bad, the ugly, what you like, what's difficult, and obviously from your feedback, we'll be able to really tailor it to our audience's needs as we continue to improve how AI is adapting into assessment tools.
Okay. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen and show you the several ways that we can generate exams and content and questions through our AI tools. So first we'll look into our open delivery, and then we're going to look into the form delivery. So let me just get that tab ready, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. Okay, perfect. So let me enter full screen mode too, so we can get a better view. Okay, so what we are looking at is the landing page of the TAO portal. So this landing page has our beta features enabled. So we can see we have quite a few different sections available to dive into. It is an end-to-end platform. So we are going to start with deliveries, and this is where we access the AI tool. And so you can see here, we have a few ways, and just for clarification, a delivery is, we refer to a static test as a delivery. So that is the assessment that you are creating and publishing that is then put into a session, which allows students to access it. So you can see you can import content, or you can create your AI deliveries. So we're going to start with an AI open delivery. And I had created a little prompt for this that I'm going to share with you guys. So we're going to call this one, we're going to just type into this box and ask it to reference a document from the public domain. So we're going to call it The Raven, and we're going to ask it to look into the poem by Edgar Allan Poe. So generate 10 questions to assess reading comprehension and thinking by Edgar Allan Poe. Rate a combination of open response questions, multiple choice has 6 possible answers. We can see we will select our language as English, and it does give you the option to select a file and attach a file as well. And we'll show you that in a different example. But right now, we're just asking it to find the raven and create us a quiz on this. So we're going to hit generate delivery.
And this really is like the cool part because we can see how Samantha put in a couple sentences. She put in the number of questions and how it automatically then now gives you this. As we're all familiar with AI, we know the power of it, but to have it actually in platform and really be able to now go in and either accept the questions as is or just make a quick edit saves so much time for your item authors. And this is, I think, the perfect example where now Sam, she'll flip through and show you the quality of the questions, and then also, if you need a change made, you can ask it, the system if you need something to be more vigorous with its attempt of generating the question. But it is very, very user friendly and a huge time saver for your educators as they're authoring their new content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And this is a preview of what it would look like as a published item if you were to use this item. So you can see that it has generated our 10 questions. There is a mix of multi-choice and open response. We can see that it's asking questions about the raven in every question, and it is referencing the poem correctly. So we can say, let's say we want to change the first question to an open response question. We can ask the AI to do that right here. We would just select question 1 or item 1, and then we would tell it what change we need. So we would say, change this question type to open response. And then update, and it'll regenerate the question.
And right now too, just as so everyone knows, this is a beta feature. So the item types that you're seeing are multiple choice and open response as they are most used. As we continue to develop the tool, we'll have eventually all of our item types flow into the AI tool. But to get started, we figure that this is the most user-friendly to start to get, obviously, the knowledge in the algorithm to then feed us back the questions. But then also just as part, again, as our early adopters program, and then I'll stop mentioning it, we want the feedback on what items you guys would also like to see. So kind of starting with the simplistic item types that we have in here now, and then how robust do you really want us to get with the tool? Is there a value to have the AI in more of our science and math items, or is it something where you would like to see more in on more of our English-based questions? But either way, I'll let Sam continue going through the demo and stop posting and pushing on this early adopters program. But I really want to see kind of the feedback because as you can see, we're really excited to see what the power of the tool can actually become with your input.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And so you can see that we asked the AI to change the first multi-choice question to an open response. We can see that it reworded it to provide more context for, an open response question rather than simple multiple choice. So if you wanted to then even further edit any of these questions, you can actually do so here by hitting edit delivery. Once you're in the delivery, you can go to each question, edit each question. You can, if it's an essay question, set the character or word limit. If it's a multi-choice question, the system will designate the correct choice by default. So it will go and find your correct answer and set that for you. So you can double check that, make sure that it's accurate, or if for whatever reason you wanted to change that, you can do that here as well. You can add a choice. You can change any of this text. You can add questions. You can also go into the test settings, name your test, and then just some general settings if their navigation is forward only or if they can return to previous questions. If you want to randomize the questions, like I mentioned before, give them in a different order. And, some students might get different questions based on what is going to each student. You can enable the test taker and accessibility tools here, and you can also do so in the session builder. So once you publish this delivery, it would then be available to be used in a session, and then that's how the students would access your session. So I'm going
And I think too, Sam, as you just showed the accessibility tools, that's a huge thing to make sure that as you're looking at an AI tool for your assessment program, you also want to make sure that it is also within the compliance of the YCAA for accessibility. So that was also a major consideration when building this tool for us, that we can also make sure that it is compatible and under the same regulations that we have for accessibility for all learning types out there. So that's definitely something to make sure you want to keep on your checklist when looking and selecting AI tools.
So let's show you a different way. Say we want to upload the file. So what we need to do first is, I've already done this, but we would go to our asset manager. You would upload a new asset and you would hit extract content. You can also add tags if you wanted to help with search and also just to organize your items. So, you could add a tag for the class. You could add any sort of metadata you wanted here. So let's leave this and go back to our deliveries. So we're going to go here. Let's call this Earth Science. And then we are generate 10 question diagnostic quiz. Success. And then we're going to go and select the text that I had uploaded earlier, which is a chapter from a Earth Sciences textbook for middle schoolers. Let's see. Here it is. I'll add that, and I want to say 6th graders. And then we generate the delivery. You can see we have our 4 multiple choice questions and questions taken directly from the chapter that we had uploaded here on Earth Sciences. You can have multiple correct answers. And again, you would go into the edit delivery to change anything that you would do in the same way that we showed you before. We can also say we want to change question 8. Change this question type to choice. And go back to question 8, and we can see that has been changed to multi-choice. What if we want to add? We want to add a response. Add 2 response options. Question. You can see now it added those 2 extra response options. And again, you would change anything you want it to in here. This is where you would set the navigation of the test and any of those other randomization options.
And Sam, just to keep you cautious of time, we've got about 10 more minutes,
Mm-hmm.
so leave some time for questions at the end.
Mm-hmm. And one last thing we can also, so you can upload any type of file. You could upload a CSV file. You could upload a PDF, a Word doc, any type of spreadsheet really. So let me go into here and I'm just going to copy a quick, something quick that I had prepared for this. So if we go into AI, this is an example of if I were to paste some CSV data. So you can see I've defined the logic, the question, how many responses there will be, and what the correct response should be. So doing that, I would then generate the delivery. You can see that it took my first question, added those responses, second question, and then the third question. And then finally, we also can use this form to create an AI assisted delivery. So it provides a little bit more structure. It's just another option. So we want to say the test objective is we're going to use the same file upload that we used before. So let's say the test objective is to assess understanding of astronomy principles. Then we want to say the subject is Earth Sciences Astronomy. And we would add in our parameters. So this is where you would put the label. So I'm going to say this is my Astronomy 101 class that I'm teaching. I'm going to give them a formative assessment that takes 30 minutes at the beginner level. And I want them to, since I just used that file, I would have to re-upload that. So we can do it without the file. And so we can see, explain how the moon phases occur, true and false. On the, you wanted to see, this is just again a preview of how your test takers will be able to interact. They can flag questions. This is where you would be able to see how the navigation would perform since we had linear navigation, it moves forward. And then you would submit or you would save the delivery. And so that wraps that up about for the demo portion. So I do want to open everything up to questions. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to drop them into the chat. And I want to share this QR code as well. Okay.
Yep, and this will get you full access to the tool you saw today. So absolutely sign up. We right now have a 10-day free trial, but this is also available on our website too, and try TAO now. So if you would like your own private environment, that's what this code will get you to. And then we have a public environment on the website as well. But definitely check it out, because the more you guys play with the tool, the more insights we gain to make it better, to have those improvements for what you'd like to see.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I do see we have a few questions. Regarding the IP of the generated content, you're the complete owner of all of your content in TAO, because it is built on open standards. Your content is never locked away like a proprietary vendor might do. So you have 100% ownership of your content. In terms of the AI algorithm, it is pulling from ChatGPT primarily. And in the future, I know that there are plans being talked about to pull from other sources and some custom sources as well. But in terms of your ability to import and export and maintain your content over time, you have full authority to your content. And then in terms of the answer rubric, do we have the answers rubric generated for the extended response questions? At this time, so they will generate the correct answer for multi-choice, but at this time, that is something, again, we're looking into for possibilities for the future, is how we can incorporate more into AI more into our manual scoring solution, TAO Grader. And I know that is on the radar of our product development team. And you can for sure export any generated items into QTI format. So what you would do is you would publish your delivery, and then you would export that delivery to QTI. And that's where you would have all of your content exported, each individual question. And then, are there any generated distractor analysis misconceptions for the distractors? That is a great question. And I think that's one that we will have to answer in email. I just want to talk with our head of engineering, who is spearheading this project and development, to get a little bit more insight from him on that question. And yep, it's absolutely possible to generate assets in the platform. So if anyone is interested in trying, Ashley, could you drop a link to the trial?
Yes, give me 1 second and I'll drop that in there.
Yep. So you can download a free 10-day trial and play around with these different features. You will want to make sure you go and enable deliveries in the beta features section. And then that's where you have all of your access to the AI tool. So we'll drop that link into the chat, the QA box. Or no, the webinar chat box, sorry.
Yep, give me 1 second. I just have to do the double authenticator and my phone's off. So hold on.
I can stop sharing my screen and I can drop it in.
I got it, Sam.
Okay.
It should be. It just got logged in. And then also too, we will be sharing the slides and the recording. So anyone that signed up for this, we will then send it out via email with the YouTube link and the deck.
It's an accelerate link.
I know I'm frozen. I'm copying it. I'm trying to copy right now, but my computer is frozen. I'm literally staring at it, but it won't open the link.
Here, I'm going to drop it in right here. So this is, I'm sharing on my screen where you can actually fill out this form to access a free trial. So what the QR code was pointing to our early adopters page, but this one you can log in and generate an environment for 10 days and use that to your full discretion. Of course. And I think we're just about running into time. If there are any last minute questions, we will get to those in the email follow-up. I wanted to thank you again for joining us this afternoon and going through this demonstration with us. Please feel free to reach out to us as well. You can reach us at inbound@taotesting.com, and you can also find us on our website. You can contact us there.
Thank you everyone so much, and we'll share everything shortly.
Yep.
Have a good afternoon.
Have a good one.